31-10 final score at Reliance Stadium. The first ever playoff game, a first ever playoff win for your Houston Texans, but it certainly wasn't as easy as the scoreboard would indicate. The game changed when number 99, J.J. Watt, pulled an Andy Dalton pass out of the air and ran it back for a touchdown. Wade Phillips said after the game, he does that all the time. I don't care if he does it all the time. It still doesn't make it any less amazing.
Wade Phillips wasn't the only one to say that after the game. A lot of his defensive teammates were saying he's done that before. He's done it in practice. I don't think too many people have seen it in the game before, in any game, for any player, whether or not it was the 17th game they've ever played as an NFL player. And it was right before halftime. Great to see the team take momentum off of that into the second half. Talked to a lot of guys after the game about when they thought they grabbed momentum since he scored that early touchdown, but they came right back and got it back. I thought the defense picked it up after that, and they acknowledged that was something they needed to see. But in talking to most of the offensive guys, that was what they did during the 7-game winning streak. Pressured the quarterback, forced turnovers, ran the ball down the team's throat.
Well, it was interesting. Both linemen I talked to said the difference in terms of what Atkins was able to do in the first half and what didn't happen in the second half, they said was the same thing that happened in the first Baltimore game. When they fail to cut the interior guys, they have trouble, and it's a lot harder for Myers to do because he's obviously a little bit smaller, and he has to get at an angle to get a guy that's not slanted right over him. But that was the key. Once they started cutting those interior guys, you had a little more room. They also were a little more aggressive running towards the outside, and I think it became obvious that the Cincinnati Bengals are a poor tackling team in the secondary. Pac-Man Jones was not willing to touch anyone. Became a huge factor in the game. Then you ran that huge out and go with Andre Johnson on Pac-Man Jones, and Andre, after a slow start, made a huge play, got his first touchdown, and once you got up 2 touchdowns, Bulls on parade took care of the rest.
They were very good in the second half. 4 different guys with 4 sacks on Dalton. First time in Andy Dalton's career he's been sacked 4 times in a game. Biggest margin of victory in not just this franchise's history, but in Houston or Tennessee franchise history. The biggest thing they've ever had. The fans here were obviously impactful. Marvin Lewis had a pretty poor day when it came to coaches' challenges.
You didn't like those challenges?
Those things definitely worked in the
Gary
Texans'
was jealous.
favor. I bet he was. But, you know, they probably couldn't have asked for anything more. They claimed they weren't going to lose their focus. They said the 3-game losing streak didn't matter. They said they didn't feel like momentum was a huge factor, and they were right on all counts. They got momentum here on game day, and that's what I think a lot of it
let's talk about also, offensively, you scored 24 points. Now, I don't know if that had to do anything with who your opponent was or how well did you play. Is that something that gives this team a little confidence going forward that they can score with TJ Yates? Because it wasn't just the bomb to Andre Johnson. They had a couple of sustained drives as well, and then Arian Foster, the play on the sideline that really just put a chokehold on the game. I gotta feel like TJ Yates is going to feel a whole lot better. He really only made 1 bad play. Another game that kind of changed the momentum of the game. Chris Crocker apparently does not have fingers, was unable to catch the football, which might have been a pick-6.
Yeah, the things they did this offseason were on display today, with Manning getting a pick, Joseph getting a pick, Reed getting a sack, Watt getting a pick and sack and touchdown, and obviously sitting up above, watching it from above, was Wade Phillips, who really put a good game plan together here today. The last one they had in the regular season against the Bengals. They got another one today, and now it's game number 6 inside the AFC North. Beaten Cincy twice, beaten Cleveland, beaten Pittsburgh. The only loss there is to Baltimore, a chance to avenge it. Saturday this week, Sunday next week. We got it all covered for you. Bright and early, 6 a.m. each and every weekday morning. Matt and Adam, along with Lance Zerline, on The Big Show on Sports Talk 790.